We'd like to welcome our guests, our partners, and our staff to this event today. We're here to officially launch our SMR program to deploy America's first small modular reactor, our SMR 300, by 2030. Our mission, 2030. The first SMR 300 units will be constructed at this very location where you all sit today, right here in Covert, Michigan. The site is already home to the historic Palisades nuclear plant that was shut down for dismantlement and is now being returned to life under Holtec's ownership by many of the team members you see in the room today. It's an industry first. This site is now undeniably ground zero for the nuclear renaissance. Our Mission 2030 program to construct the first SMR 300s at the Palisades site is important to Michigan, but it's equally important to America. Once the leaders in commercial nuclear power, we are now far behind in the production race, both at home and abroad. While foreign adversaries are building out fleets of nuclear plants at increasing pace to stabilize their grids, clear their air, and exert political influence through strategic exports, over the past 2 decades, America has shut down more nuclear plants than we have built. And nuclear plants are long-term investments. They operate for 100 years. So this lapse has both a near-term impact and also a long-term impact on our grid and on our economy. Indeed, energy is the very foundation of our modern life and the future economy. Electricity is the enabler of AI, microchip manufacturing, modern car production and EVs, advanced steel and aluminum production, and powers our military bases. To bring manufacturing back to America, we need to repower America. To grow our economy, we need to electrify our economy. To secure our nation, we need to first secure our grid with firm power. For ourselves and our children, that power must be clean. The only answer is nuclear energy, and the future of nuclear energy is a new advanced technology that is smaller, inherently safe, and easy to build. Holtec's SMR 300. But I'm not here to talk today about the technical details that differentiate our technology from any other. Regardless of the product, what we need to move the industry forward, the economy forward, is projects. Shovels in the ground and gigawatts on the grid. Unfortunately, due to the unflattering history of nuclear project cost overruns, and both real and perceived first-of-kind project risk, very little progress is happening in America. But just as we did for the restart, I am proud that our company, our team, and our partners are willing to raise our hands. We will go first. Our mission 2030 is ambitious, but achievable. We are growing our workforce on the Restart project and building our programmatic capabilities and capacity to deliver. We already have 3 American factories to produce the SMRs and are further investing in manufacturing expansion right here in America. Importantly, we have also partnered with the preeminent nuclear power plant construction company in the world, Hyundai E&C. And you will hear more about that later today. We firmly believe this first-of-kind SMR 300 project will unlock the broader market and lead to the deployment of hundreds of SMR 300s right here and abroad over the next decade. Often hidden behind the Restart project, the Palisades SMR project may not be high profile in the press, but it is not new. We've been working on the SMR 300 technology development for over 10 years. And since we announced this project a little over a year ago, we've invested more than $50 million in site development activities. Our President, Kelly Trice, will shortly talk more about this in a few minutes. But first, it's a great privilege and honor to invite our founder, CEO, and Chief Innovator, Dr. Chris Singh, to share his vision on our SMR 300 technology and our Mission 2030 program. Dr. Singh.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is afternoon now, right? Yes. We're delighted to hold this event to mark what I consider a seminal milestone in the rise of new nuclear here at the Palisades nuclear plant site. We thank those of you who support the revival of nuclear energy, and particularly those who have come all the way from Korea to participate in this event. This event is not open to general public. We wanted to keep it closed so we doesn't get out of control with a lot of people. But the cream of the crop in the nuclear industry is right here in front of me. And we thank you all for coming out here and participating in this event. We also welcome members of the media, especially because they have the unique role to disseminate proper knowledge about nuclear to the country, to the people in the country. And that, of course, drives support for nuclear energy. So thank you for being here. Our friends from Korea, they will recognize that the climate here is much more benign than in Seoul. I have been to Seoul in the winter, and I can assure you, you're better off when it comes to weather in Covert, Michigan, as bad as it may seem. Now, we're here to mark a special day. I call it a red letter day. In the annals of commercial nuclear energy, that I believe will be recognized as the day when new nuclear was born in the form of small modular reactors. Today, our long pondered decision to build America's first SMR 300 reactor that we so proudly call Walk Away Safe will be actualized through a momentous agreement with Hyundai, which expands our collaboration to the entire world. Now, just to recall, we signed our first agreement in 2021. And the CEO at the time, who signed the agreement, Mr. Yoon, is here in the audience, and his successor, Mr. Lee, is right next to him. Their commitment, their passion for the program, I wish I could say mine equals theirs, but we aspire to be as passionate and committed to the SMR program as these folks are. We call our reactor Walk Away Safe. It is Walk Away Safe. It's Fukushima proof. Every possible way the reactor could go out of control has been considered, and solutions developed and incorporated in the new reactor. As Rick told you a minute ago, the ground where we stand today is where the first SMR will be built. So you can tell your children and grandchildren, you stood at the site where the birth of nuclear renaissance actually happened. The first SMR was built. We expect to realize our mission 2030 that you see posted here in places. That mission 2030 is to get the first reactor operational by the end of 2030. This will happen. This will happen because we have an excellent team of people working, a dedicated team. The only thing we don't control is the regulatory support and the regulatory energy that gets brought to bear on this program. By all indications, the regulator is equally excited. So we think that we will be able to reach our goal, and we will have the first SMR, pretty much like what John Kennedy said in 1962, end of the decade, we will have the man on the moon. You remember that? Well, it's pretty much like that. We're going to have end of this decade the first SMR, first reactor operational. That's our goal, that's our vision. Of course, as I said earlier, we don't control all of it, but we do control our sweat and tears, and we do control our energy and drive. And I think that is, at the end of the day, that's what defines the success. This, by the way, the plant, you know, I don't have to tell you, is where the world's first retired nuclear reactor is being called back to service. And by the end of this year, by October, we expect to have this reactor producing power again. And I am told that will eliminate the pollution that will be caused by 900 cars in the roads and byways of Michigan. So it's an enormous contribution to clean energy. And it is the contribution that we will continue with our SMRs that will come into being at this site. We plan to build, as I said, not one but two SMRs. So together, they are rated to produce minimum 600 megawatt electric power. But thanks to cold weather here, will produce actually 640 megawatts. So you get a bonus for putting up with cold weather, if you will. Each reactor produces 1 gigawatt of thermal power, a little over a gigawatt. The reason I say this is because SMRs will be used not only for electricity generation, but also for providing steam to commercial plants, which you will see come around. You know, it will create a nucleus for industry here, and you will see commercial plants built, and some of them will use steam from the plant. We produce 1 gigawatt of steam each reactor. You know, we've been developing this flagship reactor of ours since 2011. We actually decided right after the Fukushima disaster to launch this, because it became, even though at the time people didn't think much of nuclear after what happened, we remind people that nobody died at Fukushima from the nuclear accident. They died from the tsunami. Tsunami is what devastated the plant. But even so, we have incorporated every lesson that has been learned from prior mishaps in the nuclear industry in our reactor. Of course, when we started our SMR program, the word was not even used in the press, in the media, in the society. It was not a word yet. Now, if you say SMR, even to the man who signs your shoe, he knows it. Okay, it's well known, well understood. But we couldn't get any funding. Nobody would fund us back in 2011. So just to show you our resolve, we decided to launch it anyway. So we became the first company in the world ever to launch a nuclear reactor project from scratch, from plain paper, to a full reactor, complete design reactor, we launched it with our own money. And in the 2010s, when we were doing this work, we were pretty lonely because a lot of people didn't think that nuclear will ever be back. Actually, a senior official at a government agency said to me sometime around 2014 or so, when she found out about our SMR, she said that either you're a genius or you're crazy. I have not asked her since what she thinks. But here we are. We have a reactor that is on the threshold of being launched in actual manufacturing. We have already begun the site work, as you know, and we have sailed against the wind, and we have succeeded. And we are ready to declare victory today. The reactor is ultra safe. Of course, nothing in human existence is unconditionally safe, not even the planet Earth. There are, of course, always opportunities for a failure. But we have explored 7 decades of nuclear energy, every lesson learned. From mishaps and little events, we have incorporated in our reactor. So we can say that today our reactor represents the cumulative knowledge of humankind on how safe a reactor can be. So I would call it ultra safe, and I would say that we have declared victory in developing an ultra safe reactor. Another item you should know, our reactor occupies two reactors will occupy less than 30 acres of land. So it is land efficient, and it does not require the large unused area, the exclusion zone, as we call it in the industry. It does not require any because the release of radiation is infinitesimal. It's so small that there is no need to have an exclusion zone. So we have, I said it would not be an exaggeration to say that we have grasped the holy grail of nuclear safety. Holtec has a world-class engineering organization. I'm proud of it. And we have 3 massive manufacturing plants in the United States. We have been manufacturing for 20 years, more than 25 years. In these plants. They have come online. They are in New Jersey, they are in Pennsylvania, and they are in Ohio, the 3 plants. And we expect to build a few more in coming years, geographically dispersed around the country. We are also the only nuclear company that has a long track record of delivering projects for the target price. Nuclear products, nuclear systems. And no one in the industry can claim that. Add to it the record of Hyundai that has the unrivaled record of delivering the largest nuclear plant complex commissioned in the past decade. They did that in UAE, in a country that had no history of nuclear power before. So certainly their job here would be a cakewalk, fair to say. So therefore, it's only fitting and proper that Holtec and Hyundai undertake together to build the first SMRs in the country where nuclear energy was born. America, you will recall, 7 decades ago, when Dwight Eisenhower was president, he started the program Atom for Peace, and that disseminated nuclear know-how around the world. Today, we have our colleagues from Korea, we have a world-class company, Mitsubishi Electric, that's working with us for control and instrumentation. They are all because of the US policy in the 1950s. And I hope that the policy will continue. Globalizing knowledge always helps the humankind. I should also inform you, you might hear from our colleagues, that Hyundai has established a company, a US company, a subsidiary, that will be directly employing American labor, American workers, American supervisors to build the plant here. So it will be, even though their origins are in Korea, they are going to be building here with US labor and know-how. We think that as soon as the SMR construction gets going here, and we have demonstrated early success, the floodgates for SMR orders will open for all SMR suppliers. I think that in the coming decade there will be ever increasing numbers of SMRs ordered in the US, of course. We are a large country, but also overseas. We are actively discussing with some of them now as a follow-on initiative, follow-on projects in those countries. So as we stand here on the threshold of this groundbreaking venture, I am filled with immense pride that what we are about to achieve. Together with our partners at Hyundai, we are not only redefining the future of nuclear energy, but also ensuring that the United States leads the way in meeting the growing demand for reliable, clean energy. It may not appear to you right now in the media, but that is where we're headed. America is going to continue to lead. This is about securing our energy future and giving our allies the tools they need to realize their energy independence. The successful deployment of SMR 300 will serve as a testament to American innovation, positioning the US at the forefront of a new energy era. Nuclear energy will rise to become the cornerstone of a cleaner, more resilient energy grid, and Holtec is proud to be a part of that future. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Kelly Trice, the president of Holtec. I had to put on my nerd glasses because I can't read my own writing. I've been asked to give you a few milestones associated with the restart of Palisades. One, of course, we closed the Department of Energy loan. Two, we have almost fully staffed the plant now. For those that don't know, we've added 350 jobs for a total now of 560 people on site. There's actually, if you count the building trades and the professionals on the job, there's now 1,400 people approximately working on this job to get this restarted before this year is out. And it goes without saying, but I have to say it, the plant is on budget and on schedule. What a concept. This plant is an 800 megawatt plant. It provides, as Dr. Singh said, equivalent to 900,000 homes supplied by this plant. The carbon offset is equal to 4.47 million tons of greenhouse gases per year, which is equivalent to roughly 900,000 cars, if you think about it that way. It's also the launch pad of the SMR program. So by having an operating nuclear plant and by having a staff contingent of people, it allows us to be able to train and license operators. It allows us to have a qualified program. It allows us to have a QA program. And in the synergy of Hyundai being the premier constructor in the world, Holtec being the premier manufacturer of nuclear technology in the world, we kind of have a unique opportunity here. So for the two SMRs, Dr. Singh mentioned and Dr. Rick mentioned that they would be 640 megawatts. They would be the first in the US, and you are actually standing on the exact spot. Most of our competition talks about breaking ground. We have already broken ground. We have already done the core borings, several hundred core borings, several hundred feet deep. And we're in the process of constructing the environmental report, which goes with the license application for this plant. We expect to submit the first part of the construction permit this year, to give you a feel for the timeline we're on. We also intend to order the 2 reactor vessels and the steam generators, the piping and the main coolant pumps for this plant before this year is out, to give you a feel for it. It takes about 2 years to fabricate and manufacture those. We already have an operating factory in Camden, New Jersey, which will manufacture these 2 reactors and these steam generators, which will be the first manufactured in the United States in several decades, I believe. The site master planning is ongoing. The manufacturing is operating. This is an investment in the future and an investment in jobs and an investment of high quality US power with an average of 95% capacity factor. And what that means is it's at 100% capacity 95% of the time, year round, 24/7. Even when the wind is not blowing and even when the sun is not shining and even when there's snow on the ground. With that, I would like to introduce Dr. Rick Springman, whose leadership and expertise has made this day possible. The teaming agreement with Hyundai would not be possible without Rick's hard work. The team sitting in the audience, many of which are in charge of this restart, will also be principal in the development of the SMRs and the ultimate deployment and construction. And as we said, our goal is to have these first units on the grid in 2030. To give you a feel. Dr. Springman?
Thank you, Kelly. It's always great to hear the update from the man doing the job with his team here as well. So, we're just immensely fortunate to find a partner like Hyundai Engineering and Construction. And we were searching for a construction partner about 5-6 years ago. Although we do a lot of field construction ourselves, a lot of our clients at the time were challenging us on, are you really going to build it yourself, Holtec, or don't you think you need a partner? And we took that into consideration and we started searching for the market. When we found Hyundai, it was really love at first sight in terms of a partner, because we just complement each other well. And I think the most important thing in this type of strategic relationship is to have a common culture. And Holtec is a builder of a manufacturer of things, and Hyundai is a builder of large EPC projects all over the world. We have a common vision and goal on how to go about projects, and that's to design things that can be built. And that's really the core and the compass of our interactions. We don't let grass grow under our feet. We make decisive decisions, we're aggressive, and we move fast. And that's really been the core to our partnership that, again, is over 3 years old, and conversations dating back before that. The original agreement that Dr. Singh mentioned that we had signed under Mr. Yoon's leadership and Mr. Choi and his team was really focused on the international market. And when we got into our detailed planning here a few years ago, we immediately started the discussion with Hyundai to look at expanding that partnership to the US. And we think that it's absolutely vital to have that partnership to be able to deploy not just the first 2 SMRs here at Palisades, but our 10 gigawatt target in the next decade. 10 gigawatt target. And we can't do it alone. And so it gives me a great honor to announce today, and we'll go through the formal signing ceremony. But I would like to ask Mr. Lee, the Chief Executive Officer of Hyundai E&C, who was at the original signing in a previous role, to now share your comments with us, please, on how you view this strategic agreement.
Hello everyone. I'm Han Lee, CEO of Hyundai Engineering and Construction. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the distinguished guests for taking the precious time to attend today's ceremony. It is my honor to welcome you all here at Palisades, a site that has played an essential role in the energy security of the US Midwest and Michigan for many years, and one that is historically significant as the first site to reactivate a nuclear power plant. Holtec and Hyundai E&C have maintained a close and cooperative relationship since establishing our partnership in 2021 under the outstanding leadership of Dr. Singh, Chairman of Holtec, and Mr. Young-Jun Yoon, advisor, and former CEO of Hyundai E&C. At this meaningful event, which marks a significant milestone in launching the first unit of SMR 300 project, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Holtec's management for giving us the opportunity to introduce Hyundai E&C as Holtec's closest partner and to share our aspiration for the Palisades SMR project. Hyundai E&C is South Korea's leading construction company with a legacy spanning 78 years. It is also the foundation of globally renowned Hyundai Motor Group. As a top-tier global construction firm ranked 12th by ENR, we have successfully completed approximately 900 projects across 60 countries since entering the global construction market 60 years ago. Especially in the nuclear power sector, starting with Korea's first reactor in 1971, we have built 24 reactors, both domestically and internationally, all on time and on budget, thereby setting our position as a top leading global nuclear power specialist. We have constructed approximately 70% of Korean nuclear power plants and played a key leader role in the UAE Baraka project, which is the first nuclear power plant in the Middle East and one of the most successful projects worldwide. Recently, we have successfully secured new projects in Korea and Eastern Europe, such as Romania and Bulgaria, where we are introducing the first AP1000s in Europe. This achievement proves ourselves as a true top-tier global player. Building on our strong position in the nuclear energy market, Hyundai aims to evolve into a company leading the energy paradigm by completing a value chain that covers green energy generation, storage, and utilization, including power brokerage and data centers. We will establish market leadership and proactively respond to the explosive growth in energy demand and the transition to net zero. Hyundai E&C aspires to advance to the next level as a world-class nuclear EPC company through the Palisades SMR project. The new teaming agreement will lay a stronger bedrock in our partnership. And on this foundation, we will work together with fully endeavor toward the success of the project. We established our US subsidiary, Hyundai America Incorporated, in 2022, and have been investing in US power project and SMR 300 technology. Building on this foundation, we plan to collaborate with outstanding partners in the US, particularly Michigan, to create a robust new job opportunities while working closely with local governments, labor unions, and communities to foster mutual growth and gain the trust and recognition of the American people. Furthermore, we will dedicate our technological expertise and extensive experience to delivering the world's finest premium nuclear power plant. Our foremost priority safety. During the construction period of 4 large nuclear reactors in Baraka, we achieved a monumental milestone of 0 lost time injury over 100 million work hours. In this project, we will once again place the highest priority on human rights and will never compromise on safety. With the anticipated success of the Palisades project, I'm confident that Holtec and Hyundai E&C will open a new era to the global SMR industry. We will expand not only into subsequent projects across the US, but also into the broader global nuclear market. We kindly ask for your continued interest and support we will take on as we take on the challenge. Once again, I sincerely express my profound gratitude to everyone for being here. Best wishes to you all, and thank you.
Thank you. We truly appreciate your confidence in Holtec and your partnership. Dr. Singh, would you like to add a few remarks before we sign the agreement? You have 1 more minute.
I didn't hear anything that I should rebut, but I should tell you that we're genuinely thrilled, and we thank the people of Michigan and your government here provided crucial support to get our Palisades restart going. Without that, the SMRs wouldn't have happened here. So it's thank your people who run the government here. The support has been bipartisan. It's been both from Republicans and Democrats, and they understand the common purpose. Hope that the sense of bipartisanship for energy that exists in Michigan also travels to Washington. We are truly excited about building these 2 reactors here and open the doors for the world. We are quite confident that we will have a contract, beginning of a SMR contract in Europe also quite soon. And we have discussions going on in Ukraine. We actually have an MOU to build SMRs in Ukraine at the coal plant sites that were devastated by the Russian bombings. Those sites are excellent places to build our SMR, 2 at each site. And we hope to begin the reconstruction as soon as the war ends. So the future for SMR, beginning of course here in the United States, it extends to the rest of the world. And it will be a technology that will transform energy and make nuclear, as I said earlier, the cornerstone of clean energy in the world. So thank you again.